Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about the Barilla case study and the application on the local company, DHK. So for introduction, I would first speak about the purpose of this case analysis. So through this case analysis of Barilla to bring insights on the application and further implementation that have worked out for other companies facing similar challenges, and it also aims to improving the understanding of these tools and their potential for the chosen SME in New Zealand to help the enterprise improve the efficiency of this company. So the background of Barilla is the world's largest pasta producer, and their decision maker, George, who figures out the way to optimize the manufacturing and the distribution system of the company. The duty requires the knowledge of the costs and risks of supply and the value chain, as well as accurate predictions of ordering fluctuations. So for the DHK, it is a local company with a middle-sized manufacturing factor of furniture such as wardrobes, kitchen cabinets, and some hardware. It works under a business model of product service. They provide both the final product and the installation service in both B2B and B2C. The information flows. The Barilla's distribution system can be seen in the left picture. Every stakeholder and the company's departments involved the production and the distribution parts of the supply chain are drawn within squares and arrows, shows the flow of the material products. But for the DHK, is running a distribution model that works both vertically on the right picture down from the supplier's instance and the information flows up from customers. The chart below the diagram shows the most relevant stakeholders involved in the information trade and provide inputs for the supply chain management decision making. Then we could move on to issues and the potential causes of Barilla. The bullwhip effect, high levels of demand fluctuation. Because there is not an effective forecasting system, the distribution system is not totally optimized. Whole supply system lacks information exchange between stakeholders, and they also lack of cooperation and trust between distributors and Barilla. The demand fluctuation also due to the internal organization and operation of the company, like the salespersons, and they also have too many different kinds of products and packaging. And for the DHK, they are facing the similar issue: high inventory and high stock shortage at the same time, fluctuation in demanding. First of all, the reason for DHK is the delivery time, because the delivery time needs to be advanced or postponed because of the schedule of their distributors. And for the raw material suppliers, because some of their material supplies are from overseas countries, so it's also not easy to control the schedule. And for the custom complaints and organizational inefficiency, it is most because of the communication issues. For the theory integration, the first of all is the supply chain management. It is a process that raw materials supply purchasing to manufacturing and distribution to meet the final customs requirements. And it also should maintain a low cost. So how to improve productivity and efficiency? So optimizing the internal efficiency, speed up the internal processes, and timing meeting postures. It also needs to manage the external affairs. Second one is the bullwhip effect. It means information from the demand is amplified through the transfer nodes of dealers and suppliers. It is the largest risk for the supply chain. It will cause change plans and even additional operating costs. And for the lead times, the longer time, the more inventory and the greater effect. The last one is just-in-time distribution. This makes the distribution decisions under the control of the distributor change to the barilla. Distribution system become more flexible. It could centralizing the information process under of barilla and monitor the product flow in the distribution's warehouse. Options analyze, GITD. The advantages of GITD: first of all, reducing the overlapping inventory and the production and the storage cost. Second, improve the operation and the prediction level. Third, the product needs to be convenient for transport. 4, reduce the cost of sales. 5, improve the profits of manufacturers, distributors, and other stakeholders. 6, reduce the uncertain risk through the information exchange. But for the disadvantages, because it is heavily depends on data, so the large amount of data would be difficult to connect, and it is quite different from the traditional distributor model. So it needs personal training and cooperation model exploration, and the manufacturers bears more responsibilities. Another option for analyze is ERP. The advantage is we could see all the important processes across departments and the coherent workflow and the transaction between functions, unified reporting system, no need for individual software packages. It's possible to add features and capabilities to extend the management through data through the different software. But for the disadvantages, the cost of implementation is complex, and the implication projects can take from 1 to 3 years. Trade-off between customization levels makes this system become more complex, and the cost saving and the return of the investment are clearly set in long term. The ERP systems are difficult to learn, and is also a big invest on staff training. The last part, we will move on to solution and recommendations for SME. For DH Kitchen, it is able to implement either GITD or ERP. The benefits of implementing the GITD: first, it will reduce the operation of the bullwhip. Second, it will shorten the length of the bullwhip. Third, it will reduce the transportation cost. And the benefits of ERP, it will carry some inventory and safety stock. It will provide long-term forecast and the forecast based manufacturing. It would purchase orders as input. I would also like to talk about the current situation of COVID-19. Nowadays, due to the situation, both suppliers and distribution centers are unable to keep the operation on the normal condition. So it will affect the raw materials come from the overseas countries, and it will also influence on outbound of merchandising. So implementing these tools could be help to accurate the forecast demand fluctuation throughout the outbreak, and finding temporary supplier partners could also be taken into account. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and hope it would be helpful for our future studies.